And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video, you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe.
What's up, my YouTube friends, viewers, subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger video. So today I have a very special guest. So this is Mr. Taylor, a financial advisor, or I should say a licensed financial advisor that is here to share some powerful knowledge of basically money, one of my favorite topics. So he'll be here to shed some light on some things, financial literacy, to make you guys know. So the topic for today is wealth creation, which means how can you create wealth, how can you have your money go through the roof, how you can earn money, basically everything about money. So what would we be talking about today?
Well, as you said, we'll be talking about money. It is the one thing that we all use. It is something that basically, no matter who you are, it affects our lives in different ways. Whether you have it or not, it is one of the common factors that really and truly affects every aspect of our lives. And it can make the difference between us being very comfortable or being very uncomfortable.
That's
The
right.
case might be. Yes. So basically, what I'd like to just introduce or just say to everyone is that how we go about money is a very vital, important um, you know issue, really and truly. We spend many hours working, um, as we know. Typically, people just go to work just for the sake of not just to work, but to earn an income. Many times, it is a case where we go to school, we try to get an education that's good enough to enable us the skill set to earn, at our maximum potential, whatever that may look like. Um, Not very many people stop to think about how can money work for me.
That's right.
you know so we many people spend their entire lives actually working
Their whole life for money.
for money.
And you know why? Because that's what their parents tell them. You go to school, you get a good education, you go get a job, you go buy a house, you go take out a car payment, you go do all of this. But guess what? All of this is what lead you right in debt. A lot of people start off their life as young adults already in debt. Can you imagine? You're 35, you just graduated from school, say for like lawyer, doctor, whatever the case may be, and you're already $100,000 in debt because student loan, number one, you need rent or a mortgage, number two, and you need to be mobile, so you need a car, that's number 3. Not to mention all your other utilities, all your groceries, every single thing. And sometimes I wonder, why would I tell my kid to go to school? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying school is a bad thing, but the thing is, you need money. If most people can give their children a head start in life, that means you can go to school to become a lawyer. And then once you are officially a lawyer, you're not $50,000 in debt. But the thing is, most parents can sponsor the kids because their parents couldn't sponsor them. So it's like a generational cycle to cycle to cycle to cycle. So everybody start off their life already in debt. How can you travel and live up to your full potential if you are in debt? A lot of people don't know. Everybody wants a brand new car. Nothing is wrong with a brand new car, but you're already $35,000 minimum in debt, depending on which car you pick. Because some are 40, 50, even 100 grand. And even your house, whatever square feet, already in debt.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand.
Yeah. The aspect of education is very important. Education is important. That's true. However, uh, what you find in the typical society today is that someone leaving university is saddled with debt before earning their first paycheck.
Now think about it.
No, it is true. It's true. And while it is that we value education and it is important, yes, the aspect of creating wealth has to start somewhere. Someone has to make the decision, look, I am going to change my family's future.
You know what I was about to say? When you say somebody was about to say, I was about to say there have to be one person in the family that say enough is enough.
That's right.
Enough is enough.
That's true.
Continue.
It's very, very important. Someone has to take that step, someone has to take that pain, someone has to make that decision
And sacrifice.
and sacrifice.
Mhm.
That is the truth. It has to start somewhere. And if it did not begin with your parents, then why not you? Why not make the decision? Look, it ends here for my family. This aspect of poverty, or the lack of actually advancing financially.
Or even what's it called? The paycheck to paycheck scenario. Imagine living from paycheck to paycheck.
It's not
Imagine.
comfortable. And look, we know that money is not everything. We know that, we understand that. But the aspect of not having what you need, I'm not saying what you want. If you are not able to have your needs met, the necessities, the bare necessities, and you're struggling to find even that, it is very stressful. So it is the source of many negatives in families. It is a source of, in many cases, divorces. It is the source of families just being dysfunction. You know, it does contribute to every aspect of life. It doesn't matter who you are. There are persons who have money, but do not have time, and the reverse is also true. There are persons who have a lot of time, but no money.
That's
Right.
true. That's true. You need.
Right.
We all need a balance.
There needs to be balance. And while we say that money is not all, which is very true, the aspect of your time is also very, very important. Because time that is lost today is not regained tomorrow. That is true. And the truth of the matter is that if you can free yourself of money, then really and truly you will have time to spend more quality time with yourself and your family. That's the truth. When I say you free yourself of money, meaning money is not an issue. So whatever it is that is needed, it can be provided, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be doing anything illegal, no. But you do not have to think as to, okay, where is money going to come from to do X, Y, or Z,
That's right.
right? So it is something. It is part of education as well, which many times is not readily available in our typical education system. We have principles of business, we have principles of accounts, we have these subjects that are studied, yes. But when it comes to real life situations, we do not have formal education for some of these things that we actually face in real life.
That's right.
So my responsibility, part of my job, is to actually help people financially speaking, with as it pertains to financial side, with the necessary literacy to understand how it is that money works. One, how it is that you can free yourself from the rat race, quote unquote, rat race, and how it is that you can actually be financially viable in having money work for you instead of you always for your entire life working for money. And don't get me wrong, if a person who does not work should not eat. So
that's what they used to tell us growing up. If you don't work, you don't get paid.
right. So I do believe in putting in an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. I agree with that 100%. That's true. But then there comes a point in time when your money then has to go to work as well. It's not a case where you are going to work every day and after a while you accumulate some funds, right? So really what it is, let picture this with me. Let us say that you have a child, a son or daughter, and that child is a baby, and you're looking after that child from birth, infancy. And then after a while, that child grows up and is now age 20, 22, and went to school. Yes, you see a lot of potential in this child, and you have been providing for this child all these years. And then when it is a time that you expect that this child would now use that education that you sacrificed to provide him or her, you find that this child is not really interested in being really profitable to either himself or anybody. This child just is not interested in working. This child is not interested in being productive. This child is not interested in anything
which
at
is
all.
which is crazy because I got my first job at 16 years old. And one of the thing is, like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with working for somebody else, but how can you not want your first paycheck? Ever since I got my first paycheck at 16 years old, you know bro, the feeling was magnificent because I don't have to ask my parents for a dollar.
Right.
It is what some people, especially in this generation, 2026, you got some, especially young men. They like, I don't know what's going on nowadays. It's like back in the day, men were used to, conquer and be dominant, and they should be able to, be the breadwinner for their family. Nowadays, I think women are doing more than some men.
In some
If you think
cases,
about it, in
that's
some
true.
cases, they're
That's
doing
true.
way more.
That's true.
Because if you think about it, that this is one of the reasons why women, quote unquote, say they don't need a man. You know why? Because men nowadays are not performing how they should. That's what some of this. I've spoke with a lot of young men, both my age, younger and older. But the younger ones, they're not interested in starting their life. But one of the best thing is starting your life, get work for somebody else, because not all of us inherit things from family, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
So if you're a regular guy, I believe, you get a job, and then whatever you make from that job, you take your little time and learn how to move forward. Because not every job is everybody's dream job, if that makes sense. So if somebody is doing a certain job, like all your co-workers, whatever job you're doing may be your dream job. But your co-workers, it may be a step, like a stepping stone basically. And if you look around, less men, especially young men, refuse to want to earn a paycheck. You know how nice it is when you can look at this much money, and it's, if Christmas or any day you can go shopping and make your family feel proud. Imagine taking your mom out for a nice Mother's Day. Mother's Day is around the corner, or a birthday. You can say, okay, family, we're going here to this restaurant, and you can actually afford. Like, money is what am I trying to say? Everybody want comfort, but it costs to be comfortable. Yeah. Everybody want, a nice house, nice car, a nice bed, a nice lifestyle, but it costs.
Yes.
And somebody have to be the one to make everybody can do it.
Yeah. There's the aspect of being independent, right? And every child, generally speaking, at some point, as a parent, you also want your child to become independent. One of the questions I ask clients sometimes is this: tell me, would you want or encourage your son or daughter to do the same job that you do? Yes or no? Would you really want your child to be working in the job that you are currently in?
And most of them are not even satisfied in the job that they're doing. Oh no.
That's true, right? In many cases, and for parents in most of the cases that I've come across and situations, parents want their children to do better than them. They want them to achieve more. They want the child to excel. So, as I was saying, if it's a case where you after providing for this child, you realize that this child has no inclination or desire to even become independent, but then still, at even as he or she gets older, just prefers to live off the parent. Really and truly, that's not good. And that is an example, in my view, of you working for money, and then instead of this money now being put to work to be productive, it basically sits and looks at you and wondering, okay, when are you going to feed me more? You know what I mean?
That's
So
true.
you're basically accumulating money that is sitting down, not serving your purpose. It's not being productive. No, it's not a case where you are the one being productive all the time and you're working and accumulating money, but then it is not doing anything for you. You'll have it when you need it, but look, money that's sitting idle, that is not making you money, that is not growing, that is not giving you some return, is really just waste. It's just a waste, because there, in the financial sector, there is so much that can be done, and I could share with you what the banks do. The banks use monies of all of us and invest it wisely to their advantage.
Mhm.
Um, why is that? Why is that possible for the banks? Well, truth is, it's available, and it's not only available to the banks; it's available to every single person
Mhm.
who who actually works, does has a job, and is earning income. It is possible. That's where we can have a conversation, and we can basically look at actually how it is that your money can be working for you and not just for the bank.
You know what the funniest thing is? So imagine, and the money, like the figures are different from the money. You can have $100,000 in your account, but that's just the figure. Because if you go to the bank and say, okay, I need to withdraw all my money, what are they gonna tell you? Come back within next week or next 2 weeks. So all it is just the figures. So can you imagine? You can see your money every single day, and I'm also talking to myself too. So you can see the figure you have every single day. But if you want to withdraw it, the bank will tell you if you want to withdraw this much, you need to come back because they don't have it. So the figure is there. So where is the money? Understand?
Well,
So you can see the figure every day, but
well,
the funds itself is not there.
well, you have to understand as well. We live in a world now where you do not need to walk around with cash, right? That's the truth. And everything is moving more towards cashless society. However, while that is so, we also understand that while we're moving towards a cashless society, it is one of the reasons we have what is called credit cards. And by the way, credit cards is one of the items used to actually help to generate a lot of income for the very banks at which you save your money. So if you have a credit card, congratulations. If you are within your limit, another congratulations to you. And if you have zero balance on your credit card, congratulations again.
How about the ones in overdraft?
However, the reality that that exists right now in the financial space is that um, 80% of people with credit cards have an existing balance and have been carrying a balance for months.
That's right.
Lines of credit, same, right? And it gets more and more expensive because the interest that you pay on those are is basically being compounded,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, do you earn compound interest in your savings account at the bank? Mm, not really. So
Imagine how much people didn't know
so
about this.
really and truly, it's a lot to talk about when we talk about the financial literacy. But it's important. It's a very important conversation. So we'd like to basically have the opportunity just to sit with individuals, meet with you, look at your unique situation, and actually let you know what your options are.
Mhm.
And again, there's no cost. There's absolutely zero cost to you. We just feel that this is something that is very important, and we need to let our communities know that really there are ways to actually advance financially, and it
So
starts with your financial education.
okay, so what if somebody was supposed to say, okay, so how can I create wealth? How can I make money? How can if I have this much money, how can I have this much money to I can make money from this much money? Or or basically how can I create wealth from working a regular job? What would you say to them?
All right, so let us start with the basics. First things first. It starts with your thinking. Believe it or not, it starts there. It starts with your thinking. There are persons who make good money. That's true. But there are persons who make good money who are heavily in debt and are struggling under debt. That's just the truth.
That's the reality.
That's the truth. What needs to change is how they see or view money. And a lot of times, their lack of discipline, which is a very big part of you know being able to create wealth, lack of discipline is also a very big factor. Again, your discipline will or can come into alignment when it is that your thinking, your mindset is actually on the right path,
That's right.
right? So, as I said, it starts from your thinking, how you view money, what your view of it is, how do you go about, do you think really that, okay, you work and the first thing that you should do is basically treat yourself because you need to go for ice cream and a big meal right after you
Right.
get your paycheck.
That's exactly what it is, you know. Most people, oh, I got my first paycheck. Let me go. Like people nowadays, they spend money faster than how they earn it. Imagine, look how everybody, all of us, or I should say majority, have to wait 2 weeks to be paid.
Yeah.
Some people get paid by weekly, some people get paid by the month. But at the end of the day, you have to put your hours in and you have to wait for the money. Imagine waiting 2 weeks or 1 month for your paycheck. And if you think about it, one transaction,
Yep.
you can spend your whole paycheck just like that in one transaction.
One transaction.
You lose you spend your whole paycheck, and your balance is right back to zero again.
Yes, that you can spend thousands of dollars
In one
in
in
30
one
seconds.
just like that.
30 seconds. And this is money that you earn possibly over 30 days or more.
Imagine working.
Right.
Imagine working say 6 months to save
Yes.
say roughly 5 grand or 10 grand, right? And then you come across a car. So you're working 6 months
Yeah.
to save 10 grand, and you want to buy a car, and just with that just to get the car, that 10 grand is gone. Now you have to work another 6 months for another 10 grand. You know what I mean? Instead of saving or try to invest, because what I notice with most of us in this generation again, we we don't, number one, we don't want to save,
Mhm.
we don't want to invest, but we want to spend. So how can we create generational wealth if we're spending all the time?
Yeah.
Because for an example, say I'm working and I'm not saving anything and I keep spending.
Mhm.
How can I create generational wealth for my next generation? There's nothing there.
It won't happen.
It won't happen. And then when my kid grow up and starts to go to school already in debt.
Yes.
And then if my kid can't give my grandkid a head start, now my grandkid is already started in debt too because of me.
Correct.
But if I can change that cycle where my kid can get a head start, they can also give my grandkid a head start.
That's right.
And then so on and so on and so on and so on. But nobody wants to be that one that say enough is enough. But guess what? Everybody wants generational wealth. All of us. Every single one of us wants it. But how much of us is willing to make the sacrifice to get it?
Yes.
How many?
Yeah. The truth is, if you change nothing, nothing changes.
That's right.
Right. It's a case where you have to come to a point where you decide that, look, there needs to be a change, and that change is going to start with me.
That's right.
No matter what it is.
Who else it should start with? For sure not your parents, because you're in this position right now. Realistically.
And the truth is, the best time to start would have been yesterday.
That's right.
But since we don't have yesterday, the only time we have right now is the present. So,
but wait, before you continue, and some people would say tomorrow. That's one of the biggest things I've heard throughout my journey. Oh, I will be motivated tomorrow. I'll get my first job tomorrow. I'll do this tomorrow. Tomorrow never arrives. By tomorrow, it's now today. If that makes sense. And so many people, oh, when you gonna get your job? Oh, tomorrow I'll do it. No, do it now, right now, this second. Because if you put it off for tomorrow, you give yourself closure to not get it done. That's all you're doing.
Yeah. Let me tell you, there's one thing I've learned. The laws of success do not change to suit your situation. The laws of success do not change because of your situation. They don't. Right? So whatever your situation is now, if you do not change to do something differently, the same cycle will continue.
Exactly.
Right? Nothing will change. Will the situation improve? No, it will not.
But a lot of people want it to improve, you know.
Yeah, we all want it to improve, right? People want to see things happen positively. People want better incomes. People want to be able to save money, to invest money. People want to own a business. Fine, right? But then, question: what are you doing to realize these changes that you want to see? If it's a case where you simply are believing that at some point, someday in the future, then, it's going to happen where you simply just land a good job, or you went to bed and you had a dream and then you woke up to say, okay, this is what I should do, and then it's just going to just happen automatically. No.
Life doesn't happen like that.
No.
You know, in this world, we have two types of people. The one that sit down and wait for things to happen, and then we have the one that do stuff to make things happen. You have to decide which one are you. Stop for a second and think about it, because you know which one you are. Because we all know ourselves.
Well, I guess maybe there's a third set. The third set who just watch things happen.
Watch everybody else.
Watch everybody else. But look, the aspect of wealth creation, as I said, begins with a mental shift. It's a paradigm shift. It's a mindset that, look, hear what? If I do nothing differently, if I do not do something, then nothing is going to change. That's the first thing. The next thing is to develop the mindset of really what it is that I need to know. There are some things that are important to know. That's where the education part of things come in. What is it that I need to know? And then once I know that, how do I now proceed? What do I do
That's
with
right.
what I know? Does that make sense? Yes. Right. So it is the aspect of knowing that, look, if I go to work every day, will that make me wealthy? Truth is, no. Nobody really gets wealthy, quote unquote, just by working for somebody else at a regular job.
That's right.
Makes sense? There are persons, let me tell you, there are persons with excellent expertise And because of their skill and knowledge, they can earn a very good paycheck. That's true. However, it is that they are working and earning very healthily, very good income. If this is not structured, or this this accumulation of income is not structured in such a way that will benefit them later on, they could find themselves in situations where they are strapped for cash, do not have any money, and worse, the family basically suffers as a result.
That's right.
Listen, one of the things that you have to realize is that protecting your income is valuable. If your income depends on you, it's considered your most valuable asset right now. But the day that you do not go to work or no longer have that income, then what? What's next?
Downhill.
What happens? So this is why it's very important. It's very, very crucial for persons to at least get that understanding that, look, the income that I earn now, as good as it may be, if it goes tomorrow, how long does it take, or would it take, before then I'm just out of money?
Mm-hmm.
It is something that we need to look at.
And especially for those who don't have saving. Because if you don't have saving, you're gonna hit rock bottom faster than the one who do have saving.
Faster, much faster, right? Much faster, right? No, look, it is true. It is true that if you have a ball of paper, right? A ball of paper, ball of paper, and you have a stone, and you drop both of them at the same time. Now, people will say that, okay, fine, the stone will fall faster. Well, because of its density, it's the density of stone is different from that of paper. It may seem as if the the stone would fall faster. Guess what? Both of them are exposed to the same gravitational
Don't
pull.
fall. Exactly.
Both of them are exposed to the exact gravitational pull.
But guess what? One is
Right?
hitting rock bottom faster than the other one.
Yes. Whether it be the paper or stone, if your situation is whether considered paper or stone, it's a free fall exposed to the same destination. Right? It's just a matter, it's just a fact.
It's
So,
inevitable.
now, it's what we need to mitigate against these things, and I do believe that we can do better in our financial life. We can do much better. I believe that people of everywhere, wherever it is that whatever your demographic is, I believe it's important to understand the rules of money, and actually how you can actually improve yourself from a financial standpoint. The first thing is to then get our minds right as it pertains to how money works and what it is that I need to know of money. Are the conditions, are the variables in my favor or not? If they are not in my favor, how can I make them turn them into to being favorable to me, right? We need to know these things. It's vitally important. And once we do know these things and we implement them, application of these things is also critical. Once we apply them, then it's just automatic, because in the same way that there are laws that govern certain things, right? If you push a vehicle downhill, it's not going to go uphill. It's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
If you push a vehicle downhill, there's only one way it's going to go.
Exactly.
Right? Now, truth is, in the same way, if you know the rules that surround money and how money works, and you apply those rules, that's like pushing a vehicle downhill. Once you apply the rules, guess what is going to happen? Money will then start going in the direction and doing what it's supposed to do based on you applying the rules.
That's right.
Simple.
You know,
It is simple.
a lot
And
of-
then you'll realize growth, and you can in fact realize generational wealth for yourself and your family. Why? Because you have applied the rules that are pertinent to.
That's right. A lot of people playing the game and they don't know the rules. How you gonna win the game if you don't know the rules?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
so we say all of this to say this. So if you want to learn how money works and you want to create and you're interested, DM me on Instagram. I'll get in touch with him and we can get it done. Wonderful. Because a lot of us were working every day and we're spending money. We don't know where to put the money. We don't know where to invest it. Especially for me, because I know how to make money, but I didn't know where to put it until I met him. If that makes sense. So I'm already, learning as I go and all these things. So if you are one of those people that you're interested and you want to know and you want to learn, we can get you going.
Sure.
We can get you going. You have
Sure,
anything
sure.
else to say to that?
Yeah, just to say, really and truly, I think it's very important for us to really take a step, a serious look at where we are and what we want our future generations to look like. As I said earlier, it is important that somebody takes a decision to say, look, things just have to change. It cannot be business as usual, where persons are just living in poverty unnecessarily, when actually there is a way out.
That's right. And if you want to know the way out, you know where to go. So this is the end of the show. So there you guys have it. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if you are interested, let me know. The same name I have here is the same name I have on Instagram. Trust me, he can let you know how to make money and and move forward, and you can have a better future. So there you guys have it. I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned. I will be back doing more things. You go enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget, reach out, do more things. Go enjoy the rest of your day. We out.
We get it done.
And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.